real quick, man. Today's episode is being sponsored by OGHollywoodspeaks.com. Yes, that's right. OGHollywoodspeaks.com has this fly gear, man. Savage Drive, man. He has this very fly gear, man. He's a former prisoner that changed his life, did 25 years after receiving a life sentence, got home, and he been home 10 years, man. He's been out, he's been free 10 years. He has his own clothing line called Savage Drive. It represents the kind of drive you need to have to make it to the top, the kind of drive you need to have to stay free, right? And as we talk about this prison topic, I want to highlight and show and give respects to those that have been to prison and that are doing the right things in today's society. Everybody go to OGHollywoodspeaks.com and get that Savage Drive. If you got the drive it takes to be successful, man, support him. Also, you can follow him on YouTube. You can follow him on all social medias at OGHollywoodspeaks.com. We appreciate the support here at CEO Talk, and we also like to support other black people doing something positive, man. Savage Drive, that is the clothing line. Get yours today. Salute.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm back in the building. I'm back in the building, man. And I know some of y'all looking at the background, trying to figure out what's going on. Y'all know I'm gonna tell y'all what's going on, man. Well, I gotta walk out down through this day right here, man. This was a hell of a day for me, man. And I normally don't even go back down through here with these type of stories, man. But somebody asked me just through conversation what was one of my worst days, man, when I was in that motherfucking concrete jungle. And just like the background look, it explains it all. It explains it all, right? And I had to run in with these kind of people on 2 occasions. The first one wasn't a real run-in. It was just something that I stumbled up on during my prison occupation. But I will say this, man. Everything understood don't need to be explained, man. But in that first situation, I came out unscathed, right? Because I always tell you, man, mind your business and you'll live a long time, right? And on this particular day, I mind my business because I knew I wasn't in a position to even present this to nobody. Just like you see the pictures in the back, that's where I would have been if I would have presented to anybody, right? So I mind my business on this particular day, right? We all know, man, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, wherever I work, man, it has something to do with what I want to say, trafficking. Let's just say trafficking, man. You know, and I worked in places that other people couldn't work. I worked in places that other people couldn't work, and I worked for people that other people didn't never feel comfortable working for. Why? Because most people in prison, they got a complex, man. You know, they worry about what other people say, about what other people think. Well, me, myself, I was always solo, as they call it. I took care of my business. I mind my business. I seen things, and I kept going. That's what separated me from a lot of people, right? And I understood the environment I was in. There was a lot of shit going on, man. Especially when I went, especially with the race, you know. For those that don't know, man, when I entered that motherfucker, it was no iron benches in the day room. It was all wood. And that shit used to get tore up on a daily because a ride can jump out, boom, just like that. And you have to understand what side you on, whether you're on black, white, or Hispanic. You have to understand your position in this game, because if not, you're gonna get sent home in the worst way, right? So, man, I'm not gonna be long with this. I'm not gonna be long with this. This is just something that somebody asked me to do. I said, you know what? I ain't got no problem with that, man, because we was in conversation. I said, I ain't got no problem with that. Let me go on, put it on screen, because like I said, Y'all know I'm gonna keep it 110 all the way across, man. And this is just what I do, man. I'm gonna keep it 110 all the way across, man. And I can do this shit every day because 25 years of bad time, that shit you'll never forget. You can't put that shit behind you. You're gonna live with this shit every day, from the shit you saw, from the shit you did, and some of the shit that you ain't worth talking about, right? But this is just my encounter with these people that you see on the back screen back here, right? Third shift, what I was a trafficker. And what I mean by that, I traffic contraband in and out of the prison, man. In and out of prison. I orchestrated contraband to get brought in and out of the prison. Was damn good at it, right? I dealt with a lot of people, whether they was black, white, Hispanic. Let's put it like this, I dealt with a diverse group of type of people as long as the money was right. As long as the money was right. I never did a background check. That shit didn't matter to me. Why? Because I was doing time. Either I was going to do it alive or I was going to do it dead. It didn't matter. Because when you serve the motherfucking life sentence, it don't matter how you make it, as long as you make it. And you're going to deal with people day in and day out that you don't agree with the other people dealing with. In other words, what I'm saying, this motherfucker can be KKK, this motherfucker can be Aryan Brotherhood, or any other motherfucking gang. But when you serve in time, a lot of that shit go out of the window. Why? Because you have to fend for you, and you can't worry about what other people say. Although if you're a part of some shit, somebody gonna have something to say, and they might be just bigger than you. That's why I never involved myself with that other shit, because I understood I'm doing this motherfucking time, me, right? So let's get to this, man. Third shift, man. They had a real beat 'em up crew. Had a beat 'em up crew that'll beat your ass in the ground at breakfast time. And they was beating nothing up but blacks, right? I mean, horrendous beatings. Beat your ass so much, kick your teeth out, black both your eyes, and lock you up for 2-3 weeks. And motherfucker think you done got shipped. But you don't never be done got shipped. And next thing you know, you come back out, person be like, damn, where you been, man? Y'all know what time it is. I went to breakfast, man. I went missing in action, right? So anyway, man, I was going to work one night. It's a normal night on a prison job. It ain't no different from your job to the next job. Like I said, I was a trafficker, right? And I stumbled up on some shit. Remember what I say? I stumbled up on some shit because the places I work was people on the up and up, which was captain, majors, and wardens. Those are people that I work for, right? Because prison has a lot of politicking, man. And you have to understand, man, that it's good politics, it's fucked up politics, man. But it's you doing your time, so you have to know which lane you in. Because if not, you can get 86 real quick by inmates and officers, especially if a motherfucker's in your business. You got to keep a motherfucker out your business. It's no different from being in them streets. It's the same way, right? So I enter this particular room like I normally do every motherfucking day when I go to work. Survey the room, check and see if the drop is there. If the drop ain't there, I go on, right? But on this particular day, man, I entered the room and closet that was open. You know, I'm minding my business though. Don't think I'm in nobody else's business. I'm minding my business. Some shit some shit just open for you to see. And I don't know if this shit was meant for me to see it or it wasn't meant for me to see it, right? But when I entered this motherfucking particular office, let's put it like that, with no names involved, because penitentiary rules always affect whether it's right or wrong. I got a code and I stand by it, especially when it comes to real shit like this. So anyway, I entered the room, man, and closet was open. And when the closet was open, I seen a TDC uniform hanging in the closet, right? Which was normal shit, because you know motherfuckers bring their uniform in, change in the office, all that shit. You might see a can of dip on the table, even after the motherfucking cigarettes and tobacco was gone. There wasn't nothing to see a can of dip on the table, a pack of cigarettes on the table, because what's in house, stay in house, and I was able to obtain this shit at all costs, you know, because they knew I minded my business. So, you know, I was able to get all this shit, right? But never in my motherfucking wildest dream, never. I only seen this shit on TV. And I thought I'd see a motherfucking KKK uniform, just like the motherfuckers behind me. Blew me away. Lord knows if I had a cell phone back then in prison like these boys got now, I could have let the whole world see it. But unfortunately, but none of that shit at my disposal at this particular time, right? So I knew what it was when I saw it, man. First I see the robe. That motherfucker was silky, shiny, and white. I never forget it. Never forget it. Never forget it. And I didn't even want to touch the motherfucker. I'm like, oh my motherfucking G. What the fuck, man? This shit is real. Although, like I said, I've seen it on TV, and I've seen the horrendous things that the people have implemented on people in society, as I can go way back, because y'all know I'm old school, right? But I'm looking at this shit face to face. And it's like, goddamn, the motherfuckers is suited with this motherfucker on. Motherfucker brought chills to me, man. I'm like, whoa, shit, what the fuck going on, man? And there I went, I see the hood. I see the hood, man. I see the hood. And it was like hitting the motherfucking K2 stick. I was stuck. I said, man, this is too goddamn cold, man. I always heard these motherfuckers was inside, but I never was able to lay eyes on any one of them. Here I am, coming in and out of these offices in this motherfucking prison system. And here they are. The motherfucking sheep in wool clothing. They here. Now, I would tell you a lie and say, well, you know what? I went back and told everybody on the block. No. I kept my motherfucking mouth shut, because I knew one thing. It's some shit you talk about and some shit you don't talk about. Remember what I said? If I wasn't who I was, I would have went back and said, you know what? I seen a motherfucking KKK robe in a hood hanging in this particular person's office. If I was anybody else, that's what would have happened. And I knew that shit wouldn't have ended well for me, right? So anyway, as I stand here looking at this motherfucking uniform, like I said, man, I'm fucking paralyzed. I want to move, but I can't move. It's something about this motherfucking KKK robe and hood got me stuck. And all the motherfucking shit that came back in my head of the shit that they got going on back then versus now, when you got the crosses and shit burning in the ground, you got motherfuckers lynching from a tree. All this shit I'm seeing in my head. And y'all got to remember, I'm seeing this shit as a black man. I'm seeing it as a black man for the first time, up and close and personal in front of me. As I am close to this camera, that's how close that motherfucking uniform was to me. And there's a lot of shit going through my head, right? lot of shit going through my head. I said, woo, these motherfuckers is for real up in here. And I never forget the day the man told me this. But I thought this shit was all cap. Come to find out it wasn't. The man rode a white horse. The man rode a white horse. And these was his exact words to me. Hey, old thing. And this is how they talk to you when you out there in that plantation. This is how they talk to you. The old thing is the replace of calling you a nigga, right? He said, remember this. The only thing I like black is my boots. And that's what came to my motherfucking mind when I seen this uniform. But I thought it was all cap. Right then and there, I knew this shit wasn't all cap. This man was about everything he said he was about. And that motherfucking uniform that's sitting in this closet proved it. I wanted so bad to say something to somebody, but I didn't want to be hanging from motherfucking trees that you see behind me. That was the very first time in my whole fucking life that I've ever seen a KKK hood and a robe up and close. And you already in an environment where the majority of the people are white. What the hell would you have done if you saw this robe and this hood and you're in this environment? Would you would have minded your business or you'd have told somebody? I'll be the first to tell you I minded my business because I knew one thing, how motherfucking vindictive these people could get inside this motherfucking prison. Because I've seen it. I've seen it. But when I saw that, it convinced me that I was in the wrong motherfucking place to be real. Wrong place to be real. And I knew every day I woke up, I had to walk careful. I had to walk careful because I knew one day, at any minute, that could be me hanging from a motherfucking tree. I knew that could have been me hanging from a tree. Y'all got to remember, I told y'all I've seen a lot of wicked shit. A lot of wicked shit. But the only way you make it back then is mind your motherfucking business. If you want to make it to this side. And just as I was about to walk out of that fucking office, he walked in. And we was face to face. Me and the man that wears this motherfucking hat and robe. And guess what he said? Remember that day I told you in the field? The only thing I like black is my boots. I said, yeah, I remember. And guess what I did? I minded my motherfucking business and kept it pushing because I knew I was outnumbered. I knew I was outnumbered and I knew where the fuck I was at. It wasn't about being no motherfucking hero at that time. It was about staying alive. Because back then, a motherfucker could kill you and nobody would know. The very same woods that you see in the back of me, a lot of men have been put down back there. Miraculously came up missing and never be seen again. That's why you always hear me say, I mind my business, man. I mind my business. And if I wasn't who I am today, I'd been hanging from one of the motherfucking trees, man. That's how real that shit was when I was there. That's how real it was. That the motherfucking wolf was already there in the sheep clothing, waiting to change clothes. So when he transferred from prison to the streets, his motherfucking uniform was already hanging in the closet. And it wasn't even meant for me to see that. It's just me doing what I do every day. But when I saw that, I knew this shit was real. And like I said, most people have never ever laid eyes on this type of clothing. I haven't laid eyes on it, but only one time in my life. And that shit automatically brought motherfucking me memories to my brain. Automatically brought memories to my brain. This is just one of the many things I seen inside that motherfucker. Y'all remember to hit that like button and that subscribe button. And after listening to this, tell me what you would have done in my position when you came face to face with a shiny silk robe in the hood and everything around you wore this shit and you was outnumbered. Who would you have told, knowing that you could have been next hanging from that tree? Y'all remember hit that like button and that subscribe button, man.
Yo, this your boy CEO Hockley. Real quick, man, today's episode is being sponsored by OGHollywoodspeaks.com. Yes, that's right. OGHollywoodspeaks.com has this fly gear, man. Savage Drive, man. He has this very fly gear, man. He's a former prisoner that changed his life, did 25 years after receiving a life sentence, got home, and he been home 10 years, man. He's been out, he's been free 10 years. He has his own clothing line called Savage Drive. It represents the kind of drive you need to have to make it to the top, the kind of drive you need to have to stay free, right? And as we talk about this prison topic, I want to highlight and show and give respects to those that have been to prison and that are doing the right things in today's society. Everybody go to OGHollywoodspeaks.com and get that Savage Drive. If you got the drive it takes to be successful, man, support him. Also, you can follow him on YouTube. You can follow him on all social medias at OGHollywoodspeaks.com. We appreciate the support here at CEO Talk, and we also like to support other black people doing something positive, man. Savage Drive, that is the clothing line. Get you.